They are bad, and they don't care whether you like them or not. Here are 11 of the biggest bastards in football history. Ready? Let's go. Goalkeeper Oliver Kahn. Kahn was nicknamed the Titan. He wasn't afraid to tackle with 2 feet to scare his opponents. Kahn even scared his own teammates. Once, he threw a trash can in one of their faces. He went berserk at halftime, as usual. He is completely mad. Room for one more story? Kahn took part in a charity penalty shootout against 9-year-olds. Every time the kids scored a penalty, money would be donated to the charity. But Kahn showed no mercy. He saved all the penalties. Almost as cruel as Anakin with the younglings. Central defender Marco Materazzi. His only aim on the pitch? Aggravate his opponents. Materazzi insulted Zidane's sister to get him sent off in the 2006 World Cup final. Rather than feeling bad, Marco Materazzi even has a picture of the Frenchman's headbutt in his house. Do you think he'll proudly tell his kids the story as well? Central defender Sergio Ramos. Ramos single-handedly won the 2018 Champions League final by putting Mo Salah in an arm lock and attacking Karius, giving him a concussion. How dirty! With 20 send-offs, Ramos has received the most red cards in the history of La Liga, a record which perfectly sums up this captain, loved by Madrid fans and hated by the rest of the world. Central defender Pepe. Pepe is a very calm man in his everyday life. But on the pitch, he's a nutjob. Do you remember when he lost it against Getafe? He kicked his opponent who was already down multiple times for no reason. He then stepped on him and punched another player of the rival team. A real MMA fighter. He was suspended for 10 matches, but honestly, it could have been worse. Pepe also intentionally stepped on Messi's hand during a Clásico. While everyone said the Portuguese player was a complete madman, he had the perfect response. I'm not mad. I've received fewer cards than Neymar in my career. Unquestionable logic. Right central midfielder, Gennaro Gattuso. Gattuso was something else on the pitch, throwing huge tackles and getting into fights with pretty much anyone. The players, the coaches, the groundsmen, the cleaners. He's best remembered for his standoff in the 2011 Champions League with Tottenham's assistant coach Joe Jordan. He obviously thought that because I'm small, I have a small dick. Gattuso was the king of punchlines. Zidane, he whined every time he played against me. Now a coach, Reno hasn't changed a bit. He's not afraid to insult his players and his assistants. Defensive midfielder Vinnie Jones. Paul Gascoigne was a crazy personality, but one day he met someone much crazier than him. He came across the most violent player English football has ever known. He came up to me and said, "I'm called Vinnie Jones. I'm a gypsy. I earn lots of dough, and I'm going to rip your ear off with my teeth, then spit it out on the grass. You're all alone, my boy, all alone with me." To find out why Vinnie Jones is the craziest player in history, hurry up and watch our soccer story on this absolute psychopath. Defensive midfielder Roy Keane. At the heart of a legendary Manchester United, led by artists like Beckham and Ryan Giggs, there was Roy Keane. Violent, nasty. He intentionally injured one of his opponents during a Premier League game. In 1997, Manchester United faced Leeds. Roy Keane injured his knee after a collision with Haaland. While he was on the ground, Haaland insulted him and shouted, "Get up and stop faking it." 4 years later, United played Man City, where Haaland was playing. During this game, Keane took his revenge with a horrible tackle on the Norwegian's knee. Red card for Keane. The end of Haaland's career. That's how serious this killer tackle was. There are things I regret in my life. This tackle is not one of them. Left central midfielder Nigel de Jong. He ruins the game. His aggression is terrible. Nigel de Jong is the definition of a butcher. But his idol growing up was Zinedine Zidane. Unfortunately, the only similarities are the bald head, the headbutts, and the fits of rage. The highlight of his career? A high kick on Xabi Alonso in the 2010 World Cup final. Now everyone knows who Nigel de Jong is, he said proudly after the match. De Jong doesn't have Zidane's technique, so he breaks legs instead. Hatem Ben Arfa. Stuart Holden. Nigel de Jong wins the award for the most broken legs. He even earned a nickname, the Lawnmower. Number 10, Mark van Bommel. We've called them our Dirty 11, so we've gone dirty by giving the number 10 position to Mark van Bommel. Because of all the weapons of destruction we've talked about, Van Bommel might be the most technical. There's a reason he played at Barca alongside Messi, Eto'o, and Iniesta. But Van Bommel was far from being a poet. Middle fingers, insults, threats. He's like that guy in Sunday League who sneakily keeps shoving you, does nothing but talk to the referees, and is good enough to help his team win the match. During the massacre between Portugal and the Netherlands in the 2006 World Cup, he set the tone and received a yellow card for a dirty foul on Cristiano Ronaldo after 38 seconds. Yes, I always do the dirty work. So what? A football team can't be made up of 11 dancers. Well, that's a valid point. Striker, Luis Suarez. Cannibal, diver, cheater. He's bitten Bakal, Ivanovic, and Chiellini. His racist insults towards Evra caused scandal. The save he made with his hand against Ghana crushed the dreams of an entire continent. When an opposition keeper saved one of his shots, he called for a handball. When an opponent tackled a spectator who ran onto the pitch, Suarez demanded a red card. Suarez is a nice enough guy off the pitch, but a pain in the ass on it. Striker Diego Costa. This pair of strikers sends shivers down our spine. Is Diego Costa a football player or a fighter who picked the wrong sport? He spends his time complaining, fighting, arguing, cheating. But Antoine Griezmann told us he's the best player he'd ever played with.
Il donne de la liberté, c'est un gars, je m'entends très bien sur le terrain avec, et en un regard on s'est compris, et c'est rare d'avoir ça avec un coéquipier.
A dirty striker who is still incredibly useful. This is our Dirty 11. You'd definitely find Joey Barton, Eric Cantona, John Terry, and Chiellini on the bench. So, who would be in your 11? And who would you make your captain? Share your opinions in the comments. We'll read them carefully.